Rich people often have mega ships, which, along with jets and homes, are one of the best ways for the rest of the world to see just how valuable they are. Super yachts are one of the most obvious signs of wealth. The richest people in the world pay millions for these floating symbols of wealth, which have cozy rooms, multiple pools, dance floors, movie theaters, bars, and lounges. Each of these vessels is made from the best materials and is driven by some of the best engines in the world. Every ship is a mix of great tech and creative work. So, divine luxurers, we'll take a look at the 5 people who spent the most money while traveling. Number 5. Dubai, $400 million. Blom and Voss with Lursen started building this ship for Prince Geoffrey, the son of the Bolkiah of Brunei, in 1995. But he didn't finish the building, so by 2001, the ruler of the Emirate of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, would have taken over and finished the project. This was the largest yacht from 2006 to 2009 with a length of 530 feet and a beam of 72 feet. Up until now, it still has some of the most luxurious features, and its 8 decks can fit 88 crew members and 115 guests. There is a 10-meter pool, a movie theater, water bikes, a disco, a squash court, a lobster tank, and a clean dining room that can fit up to 90 people. The ship also has a place for a helicopter and 2 long motorboats. The 4 MTU-20V diesel engines can move all of this luxury at 26 knots for up to 8,500 nautical miles at a time. Number 4. MYA Plus, $527 million. When it comes to mega yachts, the most important users in the market are the Emirati. At least half of the most expensive boats in the world belong to them. One of them is the A+. It was made by Lursen Yachts, a German company, for about $527 million. It was formerly called Topaz. It belongs to Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who is a Vice Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and a member of the Abu Dhabi royal family. The A+ is 482 feet long and has a beam that is 70 feet high, but the ship can still move its huge weight across the ocean at a surface speed of 22.9 knots and a top speed of over 25 knots. The twin peel stick engines, which each make 7,190 horsepower, give the ship this speed. Even though it was built in 2012, it is now the 9th largest boat in the world. It has 8 levels, a swimming pool, 2 places for helicopters to land, a hot tub, an exercise hall, a meeting room, a movie theater, a garage for a tender, and lights that shine under the water. The rooms are big and decorated in a luxurious way. The crew and staff take care of Sheikh Mansour and any other guests by giving them the best food and compassion. Number 3. Azam, $605 million. Since 2013, the 179-meter-long boat has been the world's biggest private yacht. The German company Lursen Yachts built the boat, which is a mix of luxury and technology. It is one of the fastest boats on Earth and has its own rocket defense system and armored main room. Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who is Sheikh Mansour's half-brother, owns this super boat. Sheikh Khalifa is also the head of the family that runs the UAE. He is also the chairman of the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, which is in charge of assets worth almost $900 billion. Azam has 2 gas turbines and 2 diesel engines. Together, they can make up to 47,000 horsepower, which is enough to move the huge ship as fast as 32 knots. Even though the ship moves quickly through the open seas, its 60 crew members and 35 guests take it easy and enjoy the beauty of the land and water, which is probably what fish call the world. But, unlike our world, the Azam has a real name. In Arabic, the word for resolute is Azam, which is also the name of the boat. The foreship is about 50 meters long and has a place for a helicopter for landing. Inside the many-decked yacht, there are about 50 guest rooms, a master bedroom, and other luxurious amenities fit for a king or queen. Christopher Leone of Naughty Yachts was in charge of designing the interior of the vessel. Maybe the most amazing thing about this boat is that Lursen and Leone built it in only 3 years. The ship is 57 feet longer than the next boat on our list. It is almost 600 feet long. Number 2. Eclipse, $1.5 billion. Blom & Voss are a subsidiary of Lursen, which is probably the best construction company in the world. In the beginning, Blom & Voss was known for making warships, with the Bismarck being its most famous. They launched the Eclipse in 2010, 6 years before Lursen bought it. It is 533 feet long. It was the longest boat until the Azam came out in 2013, and it is still the 4th biggest ship today. The Eclipse has 2 strong diesel engines that put out almost 40,000 horsepower and move the boat at 22 knots. In keeping with their military past, Blom & Voss have added a system for detecting missiles and a submarine that can go as deep as 50 meters below the surface of the water. But this boat can do more than just battle against military strikes. After all, the paparazzi's sharp cameras are one of the most sneaky ways to attack. That's right, the ship has a system built in that stops digital cameras from taking pictures. The system uses a laser screen that sends out beams of infrared light to find a digital camera and then shines a bright light on it to make any shot useless. It's basically a high-budget, high-tech version of when the cops shine a flashlight in your eyes and then slap you. This super yacht has 24 guest rooms, 2 big pools, many hot tubs, a disco hall, and 2 places for helicopters to land. The Russian-Israeli businessman and millionaire Roman Abramovich owns the ship. He also owns the English soccer team Chelsea Football Club, which is the present winner of Europe. And when he and Sheikh Mansour are done playing in the 7 Seas, they play against each other in the English Premier League and other European events. He and Sheikh Mansour spend a lot of money on their clubs, and sometimes they spend too much and get a fine. But Mr. Abramovich can handle anything, as his $1.5 billion Eclipse ship is only a small part of his $18 billion fortune. Number 1. History Supreme, $4.8 billion. History Supreme is the most expensive yacht in the world. Stuart Hughes made it for a Malaysian investor who asked to remain private. Reports say that the billionaire might be Robert Kwok, who founded the Shangri-La Hotels and Resorts Company and is thought to be worth about $12 billion. Around 100,000 kilograms of solid gold and platinum were used to make the 30-meter boat. One of the nicest things on the boat is a real T-Rex dinosaur bones from Arizona placed on a wall made of meteoric stone that is said to be worth $89,000. Now, all of these boats cost a lot of money, and you might wonder what good could come from being this level of pride. Well, let's hear from Peter Lursen. He's the CEO of Lursen, and as we've seen in this video, he's kind of the top expert when it comes to boats. He says that about 6 million hours of labor were used, which is enough to support over 4,000 families. This doesn't even count the jobs that are being made by keeping these ships in good shape. So you start figuring out that the richest lavish lifestyles pay for the lives of regular people. But what do you think about the 5 giant yachts that cost the most in the world? Which one did you like best? If you had $10 billion, would you buy a yacht? What would you buy instead of a yacht? Divine Luxurers, tell us in the comments.